My name is Jessie Strawham. I am a lot of things. I'm on the National Developmental Team for Wheelchair Curling. I am the director of Wheel With Me Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to building a transitional community for spinal cord injury survivors. I am currently a student working through my associates with a long-term goal of going to med school for neurology because we need doctors that know what we're going through and understand our life. I host community meetups in the Charlotte area. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. So 5 years ago in January, I was in a motorcycle accident. A woman made a U-turn into the bike I was a passenger on, and the driver went through, broke his leg. I went over, broke my back at T4 and T7. My ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord. My ribs are actually what paralyzed me. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I coded twice and was resuscitated. So I knew from the beginning I was pretty dang lucky to be alive, and I decided to find out, what this life had to offer. It was 6 months I focused on trying to walk again with a quick realization that that's not really an option. And I was like, all right, what adaptive sports can I get involved in? So my journey really started with the adaptive sports community. But then I realized how strong the whole entire wheelchair community is and how amazing that support is. So my biggest piece of advice is always getting that community support no matter where you're at in your injury. Having somebody that understands exactly what you're going through, that you can call when you've had a bad day. I mean, a couple weeks ago I was sick and I transferred out of bed, crapped myself, transferred to the car, crapped myself again, and it was just a day where you just constantly, it's piling up. If you're not crapping yourself, you're peeing yourself, and it's like, we're constantly hit in the face with inconvenience. So then when you have that little bit of extra inconvenience of the bowel and bladder that comes with this, you're like, man, can I get a break? Let's go. And it's good to be able to call your friend, FaceTime your friend and say, hey, girl, you're not going to believe what happened to me. Like, bro, you're not going to believe what happened to me today. They're like, man, that just happened to me the other day. It's so good to just know that you're not alone in that. So I recently this year I began speaking and I started a business. I've built a calendar and I'm continuing to grow the nonprofit. And this really didn't start until I learned how to set effective goals. So we constantly have big goals in our life. For me, my biggest goal, example I use, is I want to build a transitional community for spinal cord injury survivors. That's a pretty big goal. So I broke it down into small pieces. It's like, who can I network with that's doing what I want to do now? Learning as much information from them. Then I take that information, I'm like, what else do I need to learn? Like, I need to learn what these rules and bylaws are. I need to learn how to run a nonprofit, how to write a grant, how to raise money. So then I take these goals. I'm going to use this as an example. At home, I have a whiteboard. And so I actually physically take my goals and I put them on little sticky notes. And so as I'm trying to get things done, I pull that note off there, and when I finish it, I throw it in a box underneath the whiteboard. By doing this, at the end of the month, I count how many sticky notes are in that box. If I have 50 or more sticky notes, I'm getting my nails done and my lashes done. because you've got to reward yourself. You've got to have something to work towards. But yeah, we're helping others, which is what humans are here for. But at the same time, you've still got to reward yourself and take care of yourself. So for me, at the end of every month, I know if I get 50 things in that box, I'm going to feel real good at the end of the month because I'll have my nails done and my lashes done. So it's so important, and even in the short term. So this week, my list of goals is school-oriented. It's like I got to focus on my classes. I've got to make sure that I'm making good grades. And at the end of the week, when I get all of that done, not only am I going to have the satisfaction that, wow, I just finished everything that I set out to finish, I'm also going to have a steak dinner. It's a matter of, people were so quick to say, I don't have the funds to do that. Up until this year, I lived off that little disability check that we got. I've been injured, it will be 5 years in January, and I lived for my first 4 years of injury, or 3 years of injury, paying rent every month off of that little bit of money that they give us. Paying rent, eating healthy, paying for my gym membership, because I prioritize where my money goes. So same thing with your goals. We have to prioritize what's most important to you. Is it your health? Is it your fitness? Is it whatever your business is? And you've got to pour every single ounce of your being into whatever it is you're passionate about. Because so often we lose sense of our passion because we let all these outside opinions come in and tell us who we should be. Just because we're a wheelchair user, we're told we should be this cookie cutter person of, oh, you have a disability, you can't accomplish that. You can't start that business, you can't run that business, you can't become physically fit, that's all impossible. We're constantly told what we can and can't do. And it's so important that we take our life back and we say, no, I run my life. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna accomplish. You don't believe that I'm gonna do it, just watch me. And so it's important that we hold ourselves accountable. And by creating goals and then rewards for those goals, you're creating accountability. So every day I check in with myself. At the end of each day, I say 7 to 10 things that I'm grateful for. And it ranges every day. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm allowed to get an education. I'm grateful for the fact I have family support. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm healthy and I have a roof over my head. Like, it's the smallest things that remind you how much you truly have. Because we are constantly so focused on what we're chasing after and what we don't have and what our life is lacking that we forget about everything that we truly have in our life. We are so blessed and so fortunate with so much, even in our situation. Because there's people that aren't in our situation that are doing way worse than we are. So the second thing I do, Lisa Nichols says, if you haven't heard of Lisa Nichols, she's an incredible speaker. She says that we're always so hard on ourselves. We're overcritical. We're our own worst critics. So what is it that you forgive you for? This morning on the flight here, I was in tears because I'm telling everybody sorry for my disability. Sorry that I was late to the gate. I'm so sorry that I have to use the restroom after everybody boards the plane. You have to bring that aisle chair on just to get me to the bathroom so I can cap real quick. I'm sorry that you have to reach in my bag 2 times because I grabbed the wrong notebook out because I wanted to do some schoolwork while reading. I'm sorry that I can't do all this for myself and that I'm inconveniencing you. But in reality, why are we sorry for the things that are out of our control? And so I have to forgive myself and remind myself that there's things that are out of my control that I don't have to be sorry for. I don't have to be sorry for my disability. I don't have to be sorry that these people are here having to help me. And then the last thing she says, we don't commit enough to ourselves. We're busy scrolling social media, committing our time to other people's lives. We're busy looking online, looking at everyone else's life. Well, they're living their life, and you're just watching them but not living yours. So it's time, take your life back and commit to yourself. What is it that's going to get you to where you want to be? What is it that you could say, you know what, I'm doing this for me today. So for me, I'm reading my schoolwork. I'm going to work. I'm going to talk to this person, and I'm going to go volunteer at the hospital. Like, I'm going to do this because it's good for me. And it's important that we need to be selfish. We are constantly so concerned about everyone else around us because we do rely on others for so much. But no, don't be sorry for it. Don't be sorry for the things out of your control. Those people are around you because they want to be around you. And it's really important that we remind ourselves that we remind ourselves we're worth it, that we've got this, that there's clearly a reason these people are with us, that we're not a burden to anybody. And the other thing, with winter's coming, the holidays are coming. I don't know if anyone else struggles with seasonal depression, but I definitely, as soon as that time changed and it started getting darker earlier, I felt it. My mood immediately switched. And it doesn't matter, you try to fight it off. It still hits me personally, but keeping your goals, that's why having goals is so important, because having something to constantly work towards. It's like, what's that next thing that's going to get you to where you want to be? And if you look at it, everything we get to do is opportunity. This wheelchair, it may be an obstacle, but it's an opportunity. There's so much opportunity that comes with this that walking around, we wouldn't have. And if you start looking, you look at everything that's wrong in your life and you feel a certain way. Imagine if you flip that and you start looking at everything that's right. Look at everything that's going well. Look at everything you have. Start looking at all the positives, all the opportunity that's come from it, the people that you've met, There's nothing like this community. I can't stress how the support, it's unlike anything. There's always somebody there to just make you know that it's going to be okay. So definitely have goals, crush goals. It's like the most important thing. If you take anything from today, know that you can break your goals down into smaller goals. You don't have to focus on the big picture. You can focus on the smaller picture and keep moving forward and keep yourself positive and keep yourself out of that negative mindset and keep yourself going where you want to go in life.